Back in the oven, Chris McCormack is 1 minute ahead of Andreas Raelert as they slowly make their way through the end of the Energy Lab round trip. It's lonely down there. No fans, just quiet. There is soul searching, and there better be an effort to suppress the voice of doubt, which screams as you explore what are your limits in every part of your body. Meanwhile, 6 minutes behind the leaders, it's Craig Alexander's turn to pass a fading Chris Lieto. But it's looking like Alexander's too far back to challenge for anything great. The clock doesn't lie. McCormack reaches the crest of the final climb and hangs a right onto the Queen K Highway. And as he does, he looks back and sees the bad news. Andreas Raelert looks good and is less than a minute back. 6 miles to go. The lead of this great race. The separation is just seconds, with only 3 miles to go. You look for a weakness, and there it is. It is that slight McCormack pause that allows Raelert to bridge the final gap. Raelert moves alongside, but does not complete the pass. Maybe that's because he has a weakness of his own. They seem even in every way now. And it looks like this is how it's going to play out. Epic battle. Maybe the greatest finish in the history of the race. Just under 3 miles to the finish of the Ford Ironman World Championship. And it's 2 men side by side, Chris McCormack and Andreas Raelert. It may take you back to a similar duel in 1989 between 2 legends, Dave Scott and Mark Allen. It is remembered as the Iron War.
Literally, we ran side by side, mile after mile after mile, and we kept bumping into each other because neither of us wanted to give an inch. He surged, and I was barely able to hang on. He dropped down to about a 6-minute mile, which, you know, that's pretty crazy in an Ironman. I thought, he's going to run a 6-minute pace for the closing 13 miles of this Ironman. And I lost it. You know, I thought, I can't do it. I can't hold it. I can't win. He's going to win one more time. There was one last final uphill. We were side by side. At the bottom of the hill was an aid station. Dave reached over. He grabbed a glass of whatever. And just as I was ready to reach over, something just said, go. And it was like I was shot out of a cannon. I just took off and started running as fast as I could go, and it blew his mind. And then we ran down the other side. I took one last look back. I couldn't see him, and I knew that it was mine.
Now, 21 years later, history repeats. With 2 men who have enough respect for the history of the race to understand the significance of what's happening. And a respect for each other that lets them actually share a sponge and a handshake in these final miles. Amazing is what Macca's awareness is. This is just about where Mark Allen went for it. They stayed together. This one's going to be even better. into the town of Kailua Kona. There are less than 2 miles to go. There seems to be a slight desire by McCormack to be the one in front, even if it's just by a foot. He is the one who has won this race. Then on the downhill, a foot becomes 2, becomes 3 as a lead grows. McCormack pulls away. His body provides one last dagger of pain to overcome. But he will literally grit his teeth to get through it. It is the latest that the men's marathon has ever been decided. As Chris McCormack wins his second Ironman in historic fashion. Chris McCormack waited 1 minute and 40 seconds for Raelert to arrive. His last mile must have been a killer. The two will be forever bonded by the drama they created. Minutes behind was Belgium's Marino van Hohenacker, his best finish ever in Kona. Chris McCormack's performance was worthy of a Wheaties box.
With about a mile to go, I took off, and then I hit the wall, and I started to panic, and everyone was yelling and screaming, and I looked back and I couldn't see Andreas, and I just closed my eyes the last bit, and then the motorbike guy came up and I said, please, can you see him? He said, no, I can't. And so about the last 400, I got to really celebrate. And, you know, the last time I won, I was so emotional. I don't really remember that last 400 meters. And this year, I really enjoyed it. And I'm just scared I'm going to wake up and this is not going to have happened. So I'm just over the moon.